Welcome back. Today on Anchor's Chat, we will look at road accidents. FRC clamps down on trucks loaded with people, animals. Worried by the increasing rate of road crashes involving overloaded trailers and lorries, the Corps Marshal of the Federal Road Safety Corps, Dauda Biu, has urged Corps commanders to go after trailers loaded with human beings and animals plying the highways. The Corps Marshal gave the directive at the first quarter of the strategy session with commanding officers at the headquarters of the FRC in Abuja on Wednesday. He said, "Our analysis reveals that vehicles carrying animals, goods, and people, interstate buses, and mass transit systems remain significant contributors to road accidents and fatalities. Addressing these specific categories of vehicles require targeted interventions and a multifaceted approach." He further identified some challenges facing the cause, noting that the issue of non-adherence to traffic lights, particularly in the nation's capital, is a cause for concern. Such blatant disregard for traffic regulations not only endangers lives, but also undermines the credibility of our enforcement efforts. We must redouble our efforts to ensure strict enforcement of traffic laws and hold violators accountable for their actions. I must address the observed instances of indiscipline among our FRC operatives. It is unacceptable for any member of our corps to engage in misconduct or display untoward behavior that tarnishes the reputation of our organization. We must hold ourselves to the highest standard of professionalism, working with globally accepted ethics within the rule of law and integrity at all times. Moreover, the rising incidence of bribery among operatives is a stain on our collective integrity. Corruption has no place within our ranks, and we must take decisive action to root out this scourge from our organization. Let me be clear, any form of corruption will be met with swift and severe consequences. While speaking on the focus this year, the Corps Marshal said, "Moving forward, we must prioritize the enforcement of speed-related offenses, such as the installation of speed-limiting devices, and implement homegrown initiatives to address the root causes of road accidents, collaborating with the judiciary in our operational efforts and engaging with the stakeholders. Furthermore, we must address the perception of overzealousness and incivility towards members of the general public. Our interactions with motorists and pedestrians should be characterized by professionalism and respect, which should be seen around the purpose of humanity and empathy." So this is coming from the Road Safety Corps Marshal. Now, road safety is set to clamp down on trucks loaded with people and animals, and the claim that it is a very high contributing factor to accidents on highways and roads. While to a large extent that might make sense, the question is, how are they the highest, or according to their statistics, or according to the indices they consider to come to this, how is it the highest contributing factor? Road safety, in their submission, did not talk about substance abuse. Substance abuse is a real challenge in the country right now, especially among the youths. Usually, a lot of young people right now who ply the highways, apparently because of the source of income of a lot of youths in Nigeria today, enter the highways, enter the roads with youthful overexuberance, without proper maturity and proper training as to what is expected of them. Road safety is not talking about substance abuse. The question is, what measures are they taking to ensure that drivers who ply the road, especially the highways, are in the right frame of mind when driving? What measures have they do they have to detect substance abuse, to detect alcohol, to detect drugs in the system of drivers, in the system of people who ply the highway? Because a lot of people who abuse substances and drive when under the influence of these substances already their judgment has been compromised. And from their erratic driving style, it is clear that this person is not in the right frame of mind to drive. Then again, there are also drivers who probably, especially drivers who are in the line of transportation. That's basically what they do for a living. Now, with the current economic reality, people who work, particularly self-employed people like drivers who work approximately 6 hours a day, have increased their work hours to 10 hours and above in order to meet up with their targets and to meet up with the current high cost of living. Now, a lot of drivers slip off on steering while the car is in motion. How can road safety detect that? Because that is another that's another reason for road accidents. Recently, not too long ago, in FCT, there was a fatal accident, and the cause of that accident was a driver that slept off while driving. These are real issues. These are issues that are happening every day. Now, let us also look at the issue of underage driving. A lot of these truck drivers, particularly from the northern section of the country, are young people. Most of them are not up to the age of 18. I have seen a lot of them in the course of plying the highways, driving trucks. And a lot of times, youthful exuberance comes into play because they drive at high speed higher than what is acceptable on that particular highway they find themselves. Who stops these people? Who checks to ensure that these drivers are up to age to drive trucks? Now, let's also look at driver literacy in the country. How many drivers actually attend driving schools? Now, this is endemic corruption coming from FRC. If you want to do your driver's license, the FRC officer who will do your license for you, most of the times will ask you if you've gone to driving school. They don't actually check to know if you actually went to driving school. Then they give you a number of certain driving schools. Either they are vendors with them or they have direct personal relationship with those people. So usually they'll ask you, oh, go and meet so and so person. So when you get there, a lot of them will demand token from Nigerians, and they will do a CBT exam for them. The person will be seated there. They pay for a certain amount. They give you the laptop, you answer the questions, and when you're done, or they answer the questions for you. When you're done, depending on your score, you are issued a driving school certificate, and with that you proceed to FRC and you commence the protocols to get your driver's license. Now, driver illiteracy is high in the country. What is FRC doing about it? It is not enough to stop drivers and demand for driver's license. A lot of people that have driver's license do not know anything about the rules that apply while driving on the road inside the state. A lot of them do not know the rules that apply while driving on the highway. A lot of them do not know why certain lights in their dashboards show up and what those lights means. A lot of drivers do not understand traffic rules. So there is high rate of driver illiteracy in the country. What is FRC doing about it? So why it is also important to clamp down on overloaded or trucks overloaded with animals and human beings? How about the state of vehicles? Nigerians pay for roadworthiness. And then it is interesting that Nigerians pay for roadworthiness, but their vehicles are not actually checked to know if the vehicles are actually roadworthy. Now, several times, particularly in River State, road safety corps members do not stay on the federal roads to check vehicles. They stay on the state roads. That's the first one. They stay on the state roads, causing a lot of traffic on the state roads to check vehicles. And many times they are not actually checking vehicles, like their spokesperson said. A lot of corruption going on, handshake and something transfers to the other hand, and the vehicle is asked to move forward while they are building traffic on a state road. Now, the irony of this whole situation is that cars that are apparently not roadworthy, I mean rickety vehicles, I mean vehicles that their exhaust is gone and they are emitting carbon monoxide into the air, will be driving past them and they will not check. There are taxis, there are vehicles used for transportation that has no business. They should be in the junkyard, but FRC officers will see these vehicles drive past, but they are going for cars that are apparently owned by elites, cars that apparently that are owned by, you know, middle class people in the country, because apparently that is where they can get money from. But how about vehicles that should actually be out of the road? When you come down on a taxi driver with a rickety vehicle and you seize the vehicle, or you begin to ask questions to ensure that, first of all, he even actually has a valid driver's license, to ensure that his lights are working, to ensure that everything in the vehicle is working, to ensure that the road safety requirements of things you should have in your car, they have them. Most of the times when you clamp down on these drivers, perhaps nothing tangible will come out of such endeavor. So road safety, particularly in Rivers State, ignore things that they should not ignore and clamp down on vehicles that probably have the right things. How does that help to eradicate accidents? Because oftentimes these vehicles stop while in motion. A lot of these drivers do not even drive with their side mirrors. They don't drive with their rear mirrors. Suddenly on high speed and without warning, the driver will apply brake and the brake lights are not working. You apply brake on the highway or on the road, and then the vehicle that is directly behind him might hit him and an accident happens, and he has nothing to lose, because most people will come and judge it. Oh, you bashed, your front vehicle went inside, your first vehicle is the one that has a dent, so the problem is not from the vehicle in front. Your job is to do defensive driving, but nobody is asking questions how the accident truly happened. So road safety has a lot to do. It is not enough to clamp down on trucks loaded with people. It is not enough to clamp down on trucks loaded with animals. There is more to do. And it is also important that on the road safety vans, it is important that road safety writes down the number of complaint centers so that Nigerians can call and complain when they are doing their daily checks on roads that they don't have business staying on and causing traffic, when they are extorting Nigerians, when they are doing things that are unlawful, unconstitutional. It is important that if the road safety commercial, like he said, that they want to clamp down on corrupt officers in road safety, if they are serious about it, then on their vehicles, they should write numbers of their call center, of their complaint center. People, Nigerians can reach out, complain. People, Nigerians can reach out to drop maybe videos, to report recalcitrant officers, to report corrupt officers. Then Nigerians can be sure that road safety is serious about eradicating corruption within their system. That will be all today on Anchor's Chat. Do not go away. When we come right back, I will introduce my guest and we'll dive right into the show.
from the lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains. Through the Sahara, we bring on-the-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Every day our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics,
Nobody's ambition is what's the blood.
I have fought very firmly.
natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human
on the point of order.
Honorable
They are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains. Through the Sahara, we bring on-the-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Every day, our lives are changed by history,
We are one people, all of us.
leaders, politics,
Nobody's ambition is what the blood.
I have fought a very family.
natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Welcome back. I have with me on the show today Barrister Hayakeng. Barrister Hayakeng is a human rights advocate. Good morning, Barrister.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you here this morning.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
And on to the story. The Nigerian Senate has summoned the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, and the FCT Commissioner of Police, Bennett, over the kidnapping and killing of Chris Agidi and aide to Senator Ned Nwoko. Nwoko represents Delta North Senatorial District on the platform of the People's Democratic Party. The FCT Police Public Relations Officer, SP Josephine Ade, said the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike had placed a 20 million naira bounty on the suspect. The police spokesperson said Samaila had confessed that his syndicate masterminded and executed several kidnappings in FCT and its environs, including the abduction of Barrister Chris Agidi, the legal aide to Senator Ned Nwoko, and Mr. Sunday Yahaya Zakwai, the district head of KT Village, who were later killed by them. Samaila Wakili further led the police to where they would find the remains of Agidi. The remains were recovered and deposited in Gwagwalada General Hospital. Agidi was kidnapped along with 19 others in Galadimawa area of Abuja in November 2023. The Upper Legislative Chamber's invitation followed the adoption of prayers contained in a motion sponsored on Wednesday by Senator Nwoko on the kidnap and killing of his senior legislative aide. The lawmakers also adopted other prayers after a debate on the motion, including that the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, should urgently increase security patrols and surveillance within Abuja and across the nation for proactive measures against kidnappings. The Senate further agreed that the police boss should see to the installation of CCTV cameras in strategic locations within and around Abuja highways, and that the police should dedicate a 3-digit emergency number for effective emergency response. The lawmakers also agreed that the Nigerian Communications Commission should urgently ensure the functionality of dedicated emergency numbers for the police, ambulance and fire service emergencies to enhance swift response to security and public safety incidents. Also, the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, stated that Wike and Igwe are to meet the Senate in a closed session on a date to be written in a letter of invitation to be forwarded to them by the Senate clerk, Chinedu Akubeze. The Senate President was quoted as saying, the FCT Minister and Police Commissioner would appear before us in a closed session on a date to be sent to them by the clerk of the Senate. Their expected appearance before the Senate is to hear from them measures and strategies being put in place to stem the ugly tide of kidnappings in FCT. Incidences like kidnapping and killing of the senior legislative head of Senator Woko and some residents of FCT are worrisome and must be stopped not only in FCT but in Nigeria generally. Now, Barrister Hayakin, insecurity is not just limited to FCT but almost everywhere in the country. It's widespread in the South East, in the South, in the North as well. However, it seems to be a battle that has dragged for a very long time and there seems to be no end in sight. What is your take on this summon by the Senate?
Well, there is nothing new, there's nothing unusual about the summon. It happens all the time. But I must tell you that I think this kidnapping took place in November before Bennett Igwe came. And I can assure you that Bennett Igwe resumed duty like, I know him personally. That's why I'm talking about him. Bennett Igwe resumed duty, the CP resumed duty, maybe a month or just this year, that last month, this February, either it's February or January. He wasn't even there when that kidnap was. But I can tell you that presently, I was in Abuja last week, and people are saying different. I was in public bus, and they didn't know who I was, and they were talking about Bennett Igwe. They said, oh, the man is doing this, the man is doing that, the man is doing this. Immediately he came. In fact, I was there, the Brekete man came to his office, and the same thing. I think they are showering praises on him that immediately he came. I think 1 week or 2 weeks that the kidnapping has so much reduced. And I can tell you, Bennett Igwe is somebody that goes to the field himself. He leads the operation. He doesn't stay behind. He leads the operation himself. I think he will be able to do something now that he just came. And fortunately too, in the taxis that I entered, people are also talking very well of our brother, the Minister of FCT. Yeah, I can tell you that too. People were also talking well about him. Recently, he had just placed a 20 million bounty on the suspect, because if they don't do that, it will, like you said, insecurity is not just in Abuja. It's something that doesn't seem to have an end in sight. It started from Yaradua. From Yaradua, Obasanjo period, it was minimal. Before you know it, Yaradua, then Jonathan period, it escalated. Buhari promised us that he was going to do something, and nothing was done. Nothing actually was done, and it's getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. So unfortunate. There's something that happened. The taxi driver that carried me, he's a Muslim. He's a Muslim. We are coming, and that very day we are driving, and I think towards airport, there was this group, and there was a hold-up, and I was asking him, why the hold-up? He said because El Zazaki came back from his trip, in a medical trip. So that's why that the police, I saw the police, I saw army, I saw road safety, all of them, they were just there controlling the traffic. I said, but why are they doing that? He said, because those people I see, those Shiite Muslims, before I know it now, that they will begin to break people's cars and all that. Now, the guy told me something that struck me. A Muslim from Kano. He said, Oga, if you remove this Shiite Muslim from Muslim, that Muslim will be a very good religion. That there will be peace in Nigeria. Just shut down Shiites. That's what he just told me. I said, is that so? He said, yes. He said, if you remove that aspect of Muslim, as Shiite people, he said, they are the people causing problems. I said, you are a Muslim? He said, yes. He said, he's Sunni. That is not a Shiite. That they are the ones causing problems. He mentioned Iraq, he mentioned Iran. Everywhere you have problem in the world, that is the Shiite Muslim. That even them that are the Sunnis, they don't consider them to be Muslims. They kill them as well. I was shocked. But again, like we have noted, insecurity is very, very high. I think they should appear before them, like I said, is usual thing. But I know that the present Commissioner of Police in FCT, Bennett Igwe, is a man that can stop it. And I can tell you, if you go to Abuja, ask questions, you will discover that just this 1 month he came, there are people are talking in the taxi. I didn't drive, so I enter taxi, I enter buses, and I heard people talking about the FCT minister. I said, try this man. Immediately he came, everything has reduced, including Nyesom Wike. They are talking good of him because there are a lot of road constructions and all that. See, they say, oh, the guy is doing this, he's doing that. They're talking good of them on the streets of Abuja. So I urge them to do well. I urge them to do more of that, and I urge them to also extend that to. In fact, they said, somebody told me, say, as in just here, say, Bennett, Igwe, and I be commissioner, the whole kidnappers are taking off. I spoke to officers, I spoke to people on the street. So they said the same thing. So I urge both of them to do what they are doing and do it very well, because life is the most important thing. Okay. If somebody dies, if you like, build good road, it's not important anymore. Build house, it doesn't. Build streets that we have AC on it is no longer important. The most important thing that government should preserve is life. Life, life, life. They should also extend it. I think police commissioner in Rivers State is a man that CP Tunji is also a man that takes that have had track record of doing combating crime both in Lagos, IRT, and the man has tried both when he was in SARS, he was in Port Harcourt. So interacting with him, he's also a man who has done well for security. So let him also do. But again, like in Rivers State now, from what I'm perceiving now, the policemen are even the one that is causing a threat now. Yeah, policemen in Rivers State, they are also, oh yes, they go with, I've complained this to him before, and I'm complaining again to CP Tunji of Rivers State. The policemen go with unmarked vehicles. They go with no name tag uniform, but they are armed, and they are holding people. When they hold people, they collect money, they take you to a corner. In fact, my assistant pastor, not under Tunji before now, was taken and used POS to collect money. They used to be on Aba Road. I will tell you where they used to be. They patrol Aba Road. They patrol Aba Road. When they patrol Aba Road, no number on their vehicle. They use unmarked vehicles, small vehicles. There's another group again that stays at Fruit Market. By that junction, they hide somewhere waiting for people to negotiate that turn. They will tell you have run one way. They will now come, before you know they catch you, bring 50,000, bring this one, bring this. A driver that was taking television from a television to the mechanic to repair for me last week was held, and they collected 5,000. I called the policeman and said, why are you behaving like this? He said, they say he ran one way. I said, which one way? He said, they're not holding him because of television. No, it's because of one way. So policemen are also disturbing people. They're also contributing to this criminality in Rivers State. And I also believe both in Abuja. So the CPs should brief them, should be able to talk to them, let them wear uniform, let them stop using exhibit vehicles. Those vehicles are exhibit. It's illegal. Those vehicles is criminality that they are doing. The vehicles that they recovered from armed robbers, some of the vehicles that the owners are charged to court, and they're supposed to be preserved. They're supposed to be exhibit preserved. Police will turn it to operational vehicles. Now, if the person is released, because I was talking to a policeman, he said, my brother, there was one vehicle I went to carry, and we started using it before, the vehicle scattered, and the man came out from prison and came to claim his vehicle. It was a very big trouble. Before you know it, up and down. The policeman had a very serious problem. No, I will also tell the CP to do what the GOC 6th Division did last week. There was an incident in Oyibo local government where the soldiers were supervising land grabbing. Actually supervising land grabbing, and I got in touch with the PRO of thank you very much, Colonel Danjuma, Jonah Danjuma. I called him within 2 hours. I've not even met him up till now. The GOC commanded him, and immediately they went to arrest the soldiers on Saturday, just Saturday last week. It's 26th. Today is what? 29th. Yes. And the 26th of this February 2024. The soldiers were arrested, bundled, and it was a thing of joy. The community had relief in Oyibo local government. The community had relief. They were arrested. Soldiers were arrested. The man a colonel led the team instantly. and went to the place to arrest them. So I thank you so much, Colonel Jonah Danjuma Jonah, and the GOC 6th Division, who also assisted him and gave him the order to go and do that. The soldiers were arrested, so that place is calm now. So we police begin to do that from time to time, both in Abuja. It will help. It will help so much.
All right,
let the Senate not bother the two men. They are doing their job. Let them do their job and do their job very well. Let them not ask them. I wonder what they are going. What they are going to brief them now. Even them will see that the insecurity in Abuja has reduced.
Okay. Now, still on insecurity, there are concerns around the willingness of the government or powers that be to actually fight insecurity to a standstill. Now, some people are of the school of thought that government has the absolute power, and when they want to clamp down, they have all the machineries in place to clamp down. And the same school of thought says it's arguing that maybe the government does not have the political will. Maybe because of, there are suspicions around the powers that be that may be directly or indirectly linked to insecurity. Now, in face of all these things, do you think the government has the political will? Because several administrations have come and gone, and insecurity has only escalated instead of being brought under control.
Let me tell you sincerely, I think this quote has, now we don't even know who quoted it, whether it was Fidel Castro, whether it was Abacha, that said that any insecurity or any challenge of insecurity that is not able to be brought under control within days or weeks, that the government has a hand in it. And we have heard of several, even Jonathan alleged that Boko Haram is being sponsored. Jonathan himself, the former president. And we have had several security operatives telling us that Boko Haram and this insecurity is being sponsored, that these are boys or men that they use for elections and talks, and they arm them, and at the end of the day they couldn't take these arms from them, and they are now using the arm because they are no longer paying them. They are using this arm to enter the street. Let me tell you something that former GOC commanding 6th Division Port Harcourt told me. A general, I won't mention his full name so that they won't know the particular GOC. My friend, we were in his office, we were talking about this insecurity not too long ago. He told me, say, higher king. I said, yes, sir. He said, look, you see this my general rank? I don't want these politicians to mess it up. This general rank, I want to retire honorable with it. He was a major general, full major general. I said, I want to honorably retire with it. You want these boys, these politicians to come and mess me up and say this? He said, what is Boko Haram? We're talking about Boko Haram because we're talking about. He said, what is Boko Haram? He said, give me 3 days. I flush Boko Haram out. 3 days. He said, who are they? Land. I flush them out. They won't be in Nigeria anymore. Say 3 days only 3 days operation. I will just finish all of them and stop it. But it's political. A northerner. He's a northerner. He's not a southerner. The GOC I'm talking about. He's a northerner. He said, my brother, I will flush these people in 3 days, just 3 days. But I can't do that because of lack of political will. It's politics. People are making money from it.
So what's the way forward?
It's an industry. Oh,
what's the way forward?
It's difficult. People
because
are
of
making
interest.
Money. The military is making money. When I talk about the military, the Navy and the Air Force, the police, they're making so much money. Governors are making money. If the insecurity is not there,
how are they making money?
Oh, so much money. Don't you know that they vote what they call security vote? That's what they call security vote that runs into billions of naira. If your state is calm, will you have security vote? You will be called to account for security vote. Although we have been told that security vote is unaccounted for. But again, you have more money when there is insecurity in Nigeria, both at the presidential level, governor level, the police commissioner level, chief of army staff level, chief of defense staff level, air force level, all of them. So the guy told me, a major general, he said, I will clear Boko Haram in 3 days if they give me the political will, but you can't do that. Let me tell you another thing. One soldier serving in Sambisa forest, he told me, he said, look, that sometimes when we are there, say we are the boundary like this, in the night, we will see a helicopter delivering equipment, delivering things to the other side of it. And their commander will say, don't attack. I am telling you sincerely, I'm not joking. He said, don't attack. I will not mention, they are soldiers. He said, my brother, what will they see for this place? It's one of these special forces. He told me that. I said, are you sure? He said, yes. So we'll be here, and they will be dropping. There will be droppings over there. They will be dropping. The helicopters will come drop. So what are they dropping? Say, I don't know. Either equipment, either hardware, software, food, materials, whatever. They are dropping for them. I say, and these people know the people that will attack you. You say, yes, there are people that they will attack. They'll tell us, don't. You don't know that from Maiduguri to Sambisa Forest, it's close to 400 kilometers. It's a very vast land. In fact, at a point, one of the soldiers told me, said, I don't even know what Nigeria is doing there. It's a large area. Even if you escape there, they take them there with helicopters, not even armored cars. Helicopters go to drop them, drop everything. And even if you escape there, how will you come back? Because it's a forest. It's a desert. You can't even survive there. So it's a political, lack of political will is the problem we have with insecurity in Nigeria. Okay. It's a big industry. People are making a lot of money. So that money, people already know how much is involved. So it's difficult to ask them to stop it. That's just the problem. Yeah, that's just the issue. That's the major issue.
So
and the politicians,
there is no end in sight.
And the politicians are to be held responsible because they need these boys. Towards election now, you will see that the insecurity will come down. And they will come down, they'll tell the boys to come down, they begin to pay them, begin to take care of them, begin to sponsor them. Check out all the notorious kidnappers that have been killed in Rivers State. They were all political thugs. They were all political boys that were in charge of either the Ahoda zone, the Ogoni zone, the Kalabari zone. Just check out all of them. They are not, they are people that we are sponsored. They are members of political parties. So, and government pay them every month. So it's a very, very big industry. Both in the north, I'm told, both in the north is the same thing. I think it's only when you come to politics that the politicians behave the same way in the whole of Nigeria. They behave the same way. They don't behave differently. But the Fulani politician, the Ogoni politician, the Ibane politician, the Igbo politician, the Yoruba politician, when it comes to the same way grabbing power, they have the same methodology. They have the same methodology, the same way of grabbing power, the same way of grabbing ballot boxes, writing results. They know they do it evenly. That way you cannot say a Fulani politician does not know it, or Hausa politician does not know what Yoruba. They know what Wike knows. Wike know what they know. All of them know what they know. So it's the same behavior. One of my former IG, he called me during last election. He said, my brother, I went to contest for in my state. He said, not an he went to contest. I said, how what thing happened now? He said, I went to no be smart, they called me, I should bring money, I should come and go. They want me to go to the Senate. They were drumming for me. So I went and contested. I got only my vote. I said, why you go? I spent all the money I have. I said, why you go contest for election? Now you be policeman. And you don't reach IG. So what did they want to go do? He said, my brother, these people, the same. That was his word. He said, these politicians, they are the same all over Nigeria. He got only his vote. He voted for himself only. All the people that told him, you are the one to go for Senate, you are the one to represent us, former IG, former this, they never voted for him. So that is how they are. So the whole problem, I put it back to the politicians.
Okay. Now on to the next story. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu said that the decision of his administration to remove subsidy on premium motor spirits was premised on the need to ensure long-term energy security and economic prosperity of Nigeria. The president stated this in his keynote address at the opening ceremony of the 7th Nigerian International Energy Summit at the banquet hall of Presidential Villa, Abuja on Tuesday, 27 February 2024. The president, who was represented at the event by the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Alhaji Muhammad Idris, noted that the petroleum subsidy had over the years strained the country's economic resources, leading to inefficiencies and, most importantly, hindering ability to invest in critical areas of energy security. Tinubu admitted that the decision to remove the petroleum subsidy was a challenging one, but stressed that it was a step that must be taken to ensure Nigeria's energy future and foster economic growth. He added that by removing the subsidy, we are creating a more transparent and accountable energy sector. The funds that were previously allocated to subsidizing petroleum products are now redirected towards developing and upgrading our energy and other social infrastructure. While we are immersed in energy security, let us not forget that energy transition is another key aspect of our discussions. We stand on the brink of a new era where traditional energy sources are being complemented and in some cases replaced by a cleaner and more sustainable alternatives. This transition is not only an environmental necessity, but also an economic opportunity. Now, the government is coming out to explain why removing subsidy was necessary for economic prosperity. Barrister Hayaking, I know you have a lot of things to say concerning this. What is your take on this move by the government?
Laurentia, let me say something. I don't expect Tinubu to come and own up that he made a mistake. I don't expect.
You think subsidy removal was a mistake?
Oh, it was a huge mistake. It was a huge mistake at the time.
Is it the timing or the removal of the subsidy itself?
Nigeria is not ripe to remove fuel subsidy. We are not ripe for that. Now, presently, we are not ripe to remove fuel subsidy.
But the government is saying they don't have money to continue.
I will tell you why I say we are not ripe.
Okay.
But again, I actually expected him. I think if he comes to apologize to Nigerians and say, look, I made a mistake, let us do like this and do like that, I think it would be better than to continuously defend the indefensible. To defend lies, to defend shenanigans. For me, it's better you come and say, I'm sorry, it was a wrong. Because even when he made that mistake, he was not in government. And his words have a very, very big impact because he was just coming in. He was not in government. He made that comment before he became the president, just from few minutes. Just from few minutes before he took everything and he made that statement. That was very, very wrong. How can you say you want to remove subsidy when there are no reasons to do that? Let me go back. In 1980, Nigeria had 4 refineries, and we had about 50 million Nigerians. 50 million Nigerians, 4 refineries, that is 12.5 million per refinery. Let's rewind. 44 years later, from 80 to now, we're talking about 44 years. 44 years, Nigeria does not have any refinery. No refinery is functional. You are just coming into government. That's one. You have not known the system, understood the system. You would have come in 1 month, 2 months, you study it, you see what. At that point, has Buhari told you how much he spends on subsidy? The answer is no. I know you may have had that was the day he handed over his handover note. You have not even read it. And you are telling us you want to remove subsidy. That was a hasty decision. The worst decision. That is what we are suffering now. That is actually what we are suffering now. Now, no refinery is refining. What is actually subsidy? Let me tell you what is subsidy. When you refine, when you get your crude oil every day, by law, Nigeria is supposed to reserve about, is it 10% or 20%? I've forgotten the percentage. There is a certain amount of crude oil that Nigeria takes aside. Nigeria refines that crude oil locally for local consumption. They sell the crude oil, take the crude oil, they sell it off, get foreign exchange. Then this other one, they take it to our refinery and refines it. After refining those ones are now sold to Nigerians at a cheaper price. That's actually what it's supposed to be. Government ought not to pay anybody subsidy. Government ought to have taken it, put into the refinery, refine it, and now sell to Nigerians at a very good price. That is actually what it is. So if you call that subsidy, okay, subsidy. Not for free. They're not paying anybody any money. In our local refinery, they refine it and now give us and it at a cheaper price because we're a producing nation. People keep on comparing us with other countries. Oh, he sold their 1,000 something. Sorry. He sold their 2,000. He sold their this. They are not oil producing country. That is one. Secondly, their economy and our economy is not the same. Their currency and our currency is not the same. So you can't compare it. There is no comparison. $1,150 or 150 euro or 1 euro 50 cents or 2 euro. 2 euro, they sell petroleum in France and Germany 1 something euro, 175 or whatever. That's what they sell. That is 100 and something naira. That's 100 and something naira. Forget about the conversion. It's 100 and something naira. 150, 160. That's what it is. It's 100 and something naira. But if you convert to our naira, it's a lot of thousands of naira. So why would you be making that kind of comparison? When our naira and dollar was equal and pounds was equal, did you make that comparison? You didn't make it. So that is actually what happened. So, but when the politicians came from 1999, when the refineries were down, the refineries were all gone. Do you know now what they do? What they now do is that they now say, okay, take the whole crude oil, sell. They sell everything. They don't keep anyone for local consumption for the reserve. That is where our problem started from. They will now say, sell everything. When they now sell everything, their political allies will now call, Mr. President, give me license to go and bring in a petroleum product. They now give them. When they now give them the license to go and import for something we ought to have refined locally, a certain percentage on daily basis should be removed from our local, our aggregate crude oil, collection on daily basis. That percentage is removed and refined so that we can now have that at a lower price. That is what it's supposed to be. Now, you now give license to this, not from Tinubu now. You now give license to your cronies. They will now go abroad and now go and buy this. Sometimes they buy from illegally or whatever, buy from NNPC, or they go outside and search for this same crude oil that we have here, and now go and refine in Qatar or refine in neighboring country. By the time they refine, they will bring it in the napper. Mr. President, this thing is 150 naira. We cannot sell it for. I cannot sell it for 1,900 naira. Or say, okay, let's start with when it was 100 naira. Say, this we just went to refine this. This thing is 60 naira per barrel. I cannot sell per liter. I cannot sell it. So it's okay. How much did you refine? Say, okay, I got it for 65. It's okay. Go and sell 60. I'll give you 5 naira. That is what is called a subsidy. Go and sell for 60 naira. I'll give you 5 naira. Then I give them 5 naira. And this politicians start so that there's so much money from there. Some will even come and take the paper, the contract to go and bring. They bring empty tanks. We saw when people were arrested now. It's not me saying now. People were arrested by EFCC that did not supply and they went to collect money. And people will go and collect foreign exchange, millions of dollars every month, without bringing in any crude oil or PMS or AGO, diesel and all that. Now they deceived us. How are they telling us again that this subsidy removal will help us? How is it going to help us? No refinery is working and dollar is going to 2,000. Let me tell you, government is still paying subsidy. If you deny it, come, let me prove it. You are paying subsidy. Because if you have not been paying subsidy, when Tinubu made that a statement, it was, the dollar was 600 and something. Today is 1,000 something. And you think you should still be buying fuel for 750? You can't buy fuel for 750. There's no way you can buy it.
Because it's imported at dollar.
Thank you very much.
Exchange rate.
Thank you very much. So let them tell me the magic they are doing. That a liter of petroleum have not gone to 1,500 or 2,000 if they are not paying subsidy. They are secretly paying subsidy.
Okay, let me understand. What you're saying invariably is that this PMS is being imported back to the country.
Are you not aware of it?
At the exchange rate of...
At the exchange rate, current exchange rate.
Imported at the current exchange rate. So it should have been imported at 1,500.
Exactly.
And then cost of landing costs, logistics,
the price,
and all of that.
The price.
So
I spoke
Nigeria
to
should have been
importers.
paying over 2,000 naira.
Yeah, that is what we should be paying by now if government is not intervening. They are still intervening. Don't mind them. And that's why I say I don't like these lies and all that. They are still intervening in it. If they are not intervening by now, you should be buying it 1,315. Why wouldn't you buy it? Dollar was 600 and something, I'll be 700 when you made that statement. Dollar has jumped to dollar has doubled, and you are still buying the same price. And you are still buying the same. How can you do that? Which businessman does that? If they give you that contract, will you do it? You go and bring PMS. You go and bring. After you bring it, it's 1,000 something, and you now come and they say to go and sell 750. Now they are selling 720, 730, 7 whatever. You go and sell. Will you sell? Nobody will do that business. Everybody will back out of the business but they are still paying them subsidy. So why tell Nigeria openly you are not paying subsidy, under you are paying subsidy? Let them challenge me and tell me they are not paying. Let us analyze it. Let us trace it and look at the accounts of those people that have been importing PMS, whether they are not paying subsidy. Okay. I want to draw your mind back. They keep on telling us removing subsidy will help, removing subsidy will help. Remember, in 2012, Jonathan lied to us as well that he was going to remove subsidy, and when he removed subsidy, oh, the prices will come down, this will happen, this will happen. Jonathan removed subsidy on AGO, diesel. Have people forgotten? Diesel was cheaper than petrol. now you are remembering. Diesel was cheaper than petrol. Do you remember that 2012 protest? I was part of that protest. That no removal of subsidy. Jonathan promised us he was going to build refinery, he was going to do this before he does completely. That okay, let us remove on diesel and kerosene. In fact, after they removed the subsidy on diesel and petrol, we no longer saw kerosene again. Kerosene disappeared from our filling stations. There was no more kerosene. Then the diesel, how much is diesel today? Has it come down? How much is diesel? Has it come down? The last time I checked, as I did before yesterday, I packed my diesel gen. I went to buy diesel gen then because diesel was cheaper and abandoned the PMS, abandoned the petrol.
And people were buying diesel.
Yes, my own is packed up. In fact, I was calling the
diesel cars.
I was calling the mechanic yesterday. I couldn't get him because of service network. I was calling him to come and look at the diesel gen again for me, whether I could go back to it, because diesel is 1,450. And you told us, Jonathan told us that diesel will come down if they remove subsidy. The same thing Tinubu has just told us now, that petrol will come down if they remove subsidy. It's a lie. It's a lie, because how will it come down? Look at the way dollar is running. Dollar is running 1,000. In fact, dollar is the fastest man on earth now. That the people that have been running 10-point-something seconds now, dollar is at 5 seconds per 100 meters. That is what dollar is running now. Okay, 5 seconds. Dollar is using 5 seconds to cover 100 meters. I'm telling you.
All right.
Dollar is the fastest running man on earth now. Okay. Look at the way it's running. Have you seen it run like this before? Every day you wake up new price. Every day you wake up new price. Every day you wake up new price. Because of one pronouncement, one wrong pronouncement. You would have entered office, studied the system for 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, 3 months, because you want to keep to your electionary promise that will remove subsidy. Is it the day you have not taken over that you remove subsidy? That same day, you have not even taken over. You have not even entered as a rock. You have not even sat on the chair. On the rostrum, you make that statement, and everything just went. That same day, so what happened? Look at that of rice. How much is it? Everything is dependent on dollar. Let me tell you, Nigerians begin to brace up. You will buy petrol for 150, 1,500 or more. That's the truth about it. Except they do a magic and dollar comes back to 600 or 500 or 300. I don't know how they're going to do that magic. I don't know how that magic will be done. Let me tell you something that somebody told me recently. A former minister, former ambassador, he's still in this government. He's in Abuja. Told me in December, I was, you'll be sad, just watch. In December, we were in his house, we were talking. I said, Honorable, how far now? He said, these politicians. So we're talking about Nigeria just like this. He told me, he said, Higher King, we don't need people like you in government. And if you come to government, you will die. You die of heart attack because of the things you are going to be seeing. I said, what do you mean by that? He said, Nigeria is like an aircraft that is on the air. And the aircraft is going, suddenly there is this turbulence. And everywhere was shaking. Then in the aircraft, usually you have the first class, you have the business class, you have the economic class. Then those in the economic class, all Nigerians, they were praying, speaking in tongues. Those ones from Muslim, they are chanting. Those native doctors are conjuring. Everybody prayed that the aeroplane will not crash. Those in the economic class, they were like, oh boy, this thing is shaking too much. Don't worry. They were still apprehensive, but they were not as apprehensive and prayerful as those in the economic class. Those are, prayer they say is meant for poor people. So they are praying. So these ones are like, oh boy. But those in the first class, this guy was telling me, he said, those in the first class, they are not praying. I said, Honorable, why are they not praying? Honorable Minister, why are they not praying? He said, they are not praying because they are looking at the cockpit. I said, why? Well, yes, they are looking at the cockpit. So, yes. He said, because they are looking at the cockpit and they are seeing the reality. I said, what is the reality? He said that the reality is that the pilot and the co-pilots are dead. now you are cold. A man who should be giving me hope. This was what he told me. This was a hyperbole. Is this hyperbole you call it? Analysis he gave me. He said the pilot and the co-pilots are dead. So they are not praying, they are just watching the cockpit, waiting for when the aeroplane will crash. I said, then what are you still doing in government? He said, well, I've been in government since from 1999. It's my turn, it's our turn. So I have to be there. At least to represent myself and my family and my people. I was cold, for I was staring at him. He said, my brother, that is the reality of Nigeria. So there is no hope. There is actually no hope. Tell me. Okay. Assuming without considering that there is hope. Immediately Tinubu came. He has commissioned a refinery. Say this refinery must work. We have some already. Fix them. I want this refinery to begin to produce PMS and AGO and kerosene. Now. Someone and NPC people, someone the Shell people say, look, this place I need it to begin to produce now. Have they started reserving those reserves that by law they ought to remove, that percentage of our crude oil daily production that they ought to remove and refine locally? Have they started doing that? Because if they begin to do that one, then those going to import now will not have a place to sell it. And if they revive that area, for instance, say, look, please, Tinubu call and say, look, now, whatever you are going to do, I want to come and see the refinery giving me for local consumption. Then the tanks will start going to refinery to load and begin to give to us, not to import in the ship, and we go to the wharf and to suck them out and come in. That is one of the solutions. The Dangote refinery has it started production. Has it started production? Are you sure? Yes. You're a journalist. How many does he produce a day? I don't know. Has it started production? At what rate is he going to sell? That is the only way we can talk about, say, okay, there will be hope, fuel will come down. How is it going to come down when you are importing with dollars? How is it going to come down? I'm not talking about building new refineries. The ones in Nigeria, 4 of them say, I want this refinery to work in 3 months. It can be between May last year, June till now. It's about 7 or 8 months. They would have started working. So, okay, look, refineries now, we can produce locally, we can produce 1 million barrels, whatever, on daily basis. Good. Then there is hope. But so long those things are not done, in a country where we have 200 million persons. I started by telling you that in 1980, we had 4 refineries. That means aggregately 12.5 million persons per one. Today we have 200 million and we don't have anyone. How are we going to survive? The consumption is high. The demand is higher. We have more people. As at night, compared to 1980, 44 years ago. Built by Buhari. When Buhari came, I was so happy because Buhari was a man who was a minister for petroleum that built those refineries between 1976 and 1979. He was the one. Then 80, he took over government and those refineries were still functioning before he was overthrown. It was from Babangida time, the thing started going down, breaking down until none is functional anymore. So I was thinking that the first thing he would do is to say, those refineries I built, please, I want those refineries to start production now before we talk about new one. So Nigeria, if ordinarily we ought to have 10 refineries by now, going by the analysis I gave, we should have 10 refineries, not even just 10. Because if 12.5 per human being, we should have close to 20 refineries. Close to 20. Because 4 in 1980 was servicing 50 million persons. So 4, by today, we ought to have close to 20 refineries. 10 refineries for 12.125 million. Then the other one, 15, 16, 17 refineries. 18 refineries. That is what Nigeria should have so that we can be comfortable. But we don't have one. And you are telling me you will not pay subsidy. Don't pay subsidy now. Let me see how much they will sell fuel. Don't pay subsidy. Tell me you will not pay subsidy this month and see how much they will sell fuel.
Okay.
In fact, do you know what happened? What happened is that anybody you give the license will become useless. It's a useless license now. The license everybody won before. Go and say, okay, go and import. Come and sell any amount that you like. No, go and import. Come and sell for 700 naira. Okay, peg it. Tell them, go and import. Come and sell for 700 naira. You will not see anybody that will import. Then anybody that tries to, it will not become smuggling. Petroleum product will not be smuggled, and before you know, we'll buy it for 5,000. But if you say, go and import, come and sell any price you like, you see it at 1,500 to 2,000.
Okay.
But of course, because if I import it, and you are restricting me to sell for 700, will I sell at a loss? I will not now. I will tell you, take your license, go and import and sell by yourself. Okay. People are going into the business because it's lucrative. If it's not lucrative, will you do business? You will not. Even this business you have here. If it's not lucrative, this place will be closed down. Yes.
Okay. Now, the Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Ali Pate, on Wednesday said the federal government has recruited 2,497 doctors, midwives, nurses, and community health extension workers in the last 6 months to bridge the manpower shortage on the health sector. Professor Pate disclosed this on Wednesday at the 3rd edition of the Ministerial Press Briefing Series initiated by the Ministry of Information in Abuja. The briefing series was initiated to provide the platform for public officials to reel out their achievements and apprise Nigerians of the challenges of governance. Nigeria, with a low doctor population ratio, is experiencing a massive exodus of physicians. The Medical and Dental Consultants Association of Nigeria also stated that 9 out of every 10 medical and dental consultants were leaving the country. Poor remuneration, rising insecurity, inadequate diagnostic facilities, unconducive work conditions, and economic conditions are some of the reasons for the mass exodus. Pate, however, said President Bola Tinubu had made remarkable strides in enhancing healthcare accessibility, affordability, and quality. He noted that the government has prioritized the revitalization of primary healthcare facilities and ensuring they are adequately equipped and staffed to provide essential services to communities. Now, this is Professor Pate saying this. Have you actually seen the impact of, have you felt the presence of the government in the healthcare sector these past 8 months?
My dear sister, you see, government is full of lies. Not just this government, even the previous ones, I pointed them out. What government is telling you on air is not actually what is actually happening. It's full of lies. I don't believe them, and I can tell you that I know doctors that are my classmates, my schoolmates, that are outside now. One of them called me the other day. They are leaving. Doctors are leaving. I think there was this other attempt, and they said that doctors will you have to sign an agreement that you have to work certain number of years before you'll be able to leave the country and all that. They want to use that measure to curb the exodus of doctors out of Nigeria. How is it going to work when you don't have job for me? And you did not train. I asked them a question. I said, did you train that doctor? And these doctors you're talking about, you want to compel to stay a certain amount of years before they are leaving? Are they the ones that you trained, or the one I used my money, my son or daughter I trained to become a doctor, and you are not telling him he cannot leave the shores of Nigeria or anywhere he gets a job or she gets a job because the association says so or one law says so? It's not going to work, and it never work, and it will not ever work. You see, the health care in Nigeria is something that government is paying lip service to. We are not taking care of it. Like I told you, the first thing about that should concern government all over the world is life. And this life includes security and health care. Because if for instance, pandemic comes and kills, God forbid, and kills everybody, and only the president and his cabinet members are surviving, who is he going to be ruling? Who is going to be ruling? So the people, the health of the people is paramount. In countries where people are taken serious, it's human. The good road is for who? For the human being. The AC house is for who? For human being. The good clothing for human being. The pipe-borne water for human. The light that will provide AC is for human. Tell me any other thing apart from human, life and property. That is what the primary, even the Nigerian Constitution says so. It says the primary purpose of government is life, to save life and property. That's actually what it is. There's nothing again government does apart from life and property. You collect the tax from us, You provide essential services for us, good road, light, this, comfort for us. That is actually what government does. If I don't have it, you build a house, you put me inside the house, you clothe me there, you give me, pay me every month, which Nigeria is not doing. They will tell you it's not justiciable. They pay me every month. When I get a job, I begin to pay tax to government. That is what government should be all about. Healthcare. But our people here, look at the ones they built in River State. The ones Amechi built. The previous government abandoned it completely. The doctors ran away. Amechi built it in all the local governments. I still remember doctors were posted there. Suddenly when Wike came, abandoned. Is it because it was built by Amechi? Is it because, I don't know, these politicians, the way they think and the way they behave. A politician will now come and say, I will not do this road because Amechi man is living there. Because Wike man, is living there. Chinyerigwe man is living there. They will not do road. Forgetting that even them will have cause to apply that road one day. Or to visit their own friend that is living on that road. Just because of a politician, they may not approve a project, a very big project that will benefit millions of Nigerians. And I wonder the kind of heart these politicians are made with. I don't know how they are thinking. How will you think that way? Forgetting that you may even relocate to that road to go and live on that road one day. You just do the road in your own local government area. You won't do other ones. You do the one in your state. And even at the presidential level, they do the same thing. Go and see the roads in the north. The contractor working in the north is not Julius Berger. It's Arab contractor. And Arab contractors are the best, one of the best in the world. In Arab, where they come from, if they do the road, they say they are going to mix 5 bags of cement, and they mix 4 bags of cement. They will catch them and execute them, kill. They cut off their head. They do nothing like prison. They kill you because it's corruption. And those are the type of, like those Arab contractors, Chinese contractors. They can't try that in their country. Even this Julius Berger doesn't have an office in Germany. Just one small caravan. I went to see their office in Germany. Julius Berger, they can't walk a walkway in Germany. They can walkway. They're not qualified. They see them as corrupt. German government see them as corrupt. They can't walk a walkway in Germany. Walkway, they can't do it. They can't get contract to do a walkway, a slab to enter your house. Julius Berger cannot do it for you. That is the country that is the company we glorify in Nigeria. They are there working. You can't see him. One. So that is what we are talking about. Everywhere in Nigeria, every aspect of Nigeria is corrupt. No aspect is, oh, this area is good, this area is good. Light, for instance, electricity. What is in electricity? We have the wind, we have gas, we have water to generate power. But we are not generating. We are not generating. Healthcare. What is in healthcare? We have doctors. If our doctors leave Nigeria, they are the best in the world. The best all over the world. But in Nigeria here, nowhere to work. Nothing. The facilities, in fact, you bring in the best equipment. Wike did for BMH when he was in government. I went there to do checkup. He brought in the best equipment in BMH. People didn't know. It was when they told me I went to see. Actually, I saw them. Good modern equipment. I've not gone back there this year to check or wait before he left how those equipment have fared. I know by now some are packed up. No hardware, no software and hardware to repair them. I mean, why should it be like that? He brought in good equipment for BMH, the present day River State University teaching hospital. Yes, for my BMH, you know. But I mean, a country where nothing is working, and you are telling me doctors should not move out and all that. Well, if you have employed doctors, like he said he has employed their doctors, let us see them. We have doctors looking for job, and somebody is looking for job, and somebody has called him in Saudi Arabia. Some of our doctors are going to Saudi Arabia. I'm calling them and taking them away. Bangladesh. I'm telling you, taking them over there, and they are doing well. And that area, if you are not a good doctor, they test you, you will not work there. You know now. Those countries, their standard is high. Many are in US, in Germany. Our doctors, that is to tell you that we are good. Our doctors are good. White man, how can you come? They will test you now. When they test you, you can't let your corruption come. You will be sent to jail and your head will be cut off. One hand. They don't, you know, their own is killing. Everything is killing. They don't care. So everybody is on the queue, behaving well. My friend is in Saudi Arabia. So, boy, here, you tough. They'll pay you the money, but you work. And you must be intelligent. And it is intelligent ones that should have developed Nigeria that they are taking away. And they are all going. And you are telling me they shouldn't go? My brother, they will go. Me, I will go if I was a doctor. I will go. Nothing will stop me. No human being will stop me. You will not stop me because when I go there, I have a better living. The guy told me he has just finished his house. What they're paying him there, he has finished his house in Nigeria, in Port Harcourt here. He has finished his house. His wife's birthday, I think, okay, this Sunday. They've just invited me. His wife's birthday, he has completed his house. They are sending money and everything is done. That is the truth about it. There's nothing you can do about it until you fix your house. Something happened in Europe, which is what people like Malema is now agitating for. Burkina Faso is part of it. This United Africa. Now, before now, in Europe, the best economy then was Germany and France. All the Turkey, Romanians, Italians, we are all in Germany. But immediately they had that Euro unification, one currency. Everybody left to their country because if you earn 1,000 euro in Germany, you earn 1,000 euro in Romania or Turkish or Spain. It's the same amount. So why are you working in Germany? Why are you working in France? They all left. That is what we are talking about. That's another way to solve our problem in Africa. United Africa. One currency, one government. It may not be one government, but one currency. It will help. Remove the barriers of borders. No border. You will cross from France. Once you get Shanghai visa, a lot of people know you go to 27 countries. Why can't that be done in Africa? Just to cross Cotonou. The whole to cross to Ghana, problem. Meanwhile, what is in Ghana? What is in Cotonou? They are the problem to cross. What is in Ghana? What is in Cotonou? What is in the Burkina Faso? But if you make it one currency, for instance, everybody maintain their government, you will see that Africa will stabilize. It will go a long way to help Africa. Just let's say one currency. Leave about one government first, which is what Malema and some other persons are, Professor Lumumba, they are agitating for. And I agree with them completely. But if you say one currency first, then remove the barrier. No, but let me tell you, the barriers will go, the border barriers will go by themselves because if you make it one currency, whatever currency we are using, if it is naira, 1 naira in Nigeria is the same 1 naira in Ghana, it's the same 1 naira in Burkina Faso, it's the same 1 naira in South Africa. What are you going to South Africa to do? Except if there are jobs in South Africa that is not in Nigeria. That is the only way you can go to work there. What about the stress? When you finish working there, you earn the same 1,000 naira you would have earned in Nigeria. So, and you pay transport to come back to Nigeria. So why would you want to go? You will stay in Nigeria. Everybody will stay in Nigeria. German, everybody left Germany. The indigenous of Germany now had more jobs. Everybody left France because it's one currency. If you earn 1 euro in Germany, it's the same 1 euro in Romania, it's the same 1 euro in Greek. So why are you staying in Germany? Then pay transport to your place. If you want to go to Germany or you want to go to France, you just enter train and come buy something, you go back. You don't stay. Everybody left. So the borders will break down on their own. Because if the same currency you earn in Nigeria, the same value in Rwanda, what are you going to Rwanda to do? What are you coming from Rwanda to Nigeria to do? Nothing. You will not come here. You stay in your country. Even if you are digging sand, you dig it. Because it's the same value. To help us. That's another way to go. Okay. Yeah, Bola Tinubu, our president, should key into that because he's not part of it yet. South Africa is part of it. Burkina Faso is part of it. Rwanda is part of it. If I remember them, they are part of it. One currency. The borders will break down on their own. Because if you don't see anybody crossing from Nigeria to Ghana, who will you ask to come and take visa? Why should I need visa to cross to Ghana?
But with the insecurity situations around, with borders breaking down, certain countries would not want to engage in that.
You will not, nobody will even come now because what are you going to do? No, the job there and the job here, the value. Why are we migrating?
I'm looking at insecurity.
Plus insecurity. Naturally, I agree with you, but what are you going there to do? To steal what? Naturally, the borders will just go on their own. No more border. Because it's the same currency. What is taking us to US? What is taking us to France and Germany? It's the currency. What is taking you to Saudi Arabia? They pay you in dollars. And some of them pay in euros. That's why you are going. If the same is the same currency here, the same value there, the stress you go there earn the same money. Except job opportunity that will make people to go. Okay, job opportunity. Even the job opportunity, if you consider the way you earn the money there, the $10,000 or 10,000 naira in South Africa, you pay transport with that 10,000 naira to come back to Nigeria. or South Africans that come here to come and work, and people will just leave. That is what happened in Europe. Just check, do your research about Europe. All the countries that were closing their borders from people coming in and all that, people naturally don't want to come again. What are you going to do? I'm just asking. A doctor, if you are paid in South Africa the same 1,000 euro, now Africans will now be migrating to only Europe and America. But again, if the African currency equals euro, equals dollar and all that, nobody will go. You only go for visiting. What are you going to do? That was what the Europeans did, and it was working. Go and check it out. Europeans is working. It's working. That means Germans are no longer driving anybody. They are not driving anybody. France, they are not driving anybody. I say you just see the body, just cross like this, you go. You just cross, you just enter. With leg, with motor, with train. Nobody will say, where are you coming from? Including Africans. So. Once you have that visa. Including Africans, nobody asks you anything. Just buy a ticket from Germany, straight to France, straight to Italy, straight to anywhere you want to go. Only England you will not go. You need a separate visa to go to England. Otherwise, every other place you can go in Europe. Then America, you need their visa. So if our African currency equals them, who want to go to America? You just go for visiting and all that and come back. So that is another way to go. So our president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I am urging you to join that queue, because if Nigeria lends its voice to that, it will become a reality. But presently, Nigeria is standing on the fence. It is not good for us. Please, that is one of the ways to better because posterity will remember you as a man who saved Nigeria. Bola Tinubu, posterity will remember you as a man who saved Nigeria. You are in your 70s or 80s. For us that are still coming up, our children, your children, your name will be there, will be immortalized, just like they immortalized Abraham Lincoln. What did Abraham Lincoln do differently? Abraham Lincoln was part of the slave owners, but Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation Decree. That's why over the world now, Abraham Lincoln is talked about more than any other president. Abraham Lincoln is not the first president of America. Abraham Lincoln became president in 100 years later after America became independent. But he did something differently, something that other presidents refused to do, to sign the Emancipation Proclamation Decree. It was on the table of the president, but none of them signed because they were still dealing in slaves, even when orally, openly they have said, oh, no more slavery. But they were still dealing. Abraham Lincoln even had slaves. He was part of slave owners when he signed it. So you shouldn't bother. Sign it for us. 100, 200 years later, we will remember you. That one president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, came and did something differently. Summon an NPC. Summon all of them and tell them the refineries must work by the end of March 2024. Today is the end of the month of February. It's not true. 29 February. 2024. Summon them, tell them it will work. It's sabotage. It's lack of political will. Anybody that stands on the way from the refineries working, that is the only way you can remove subsidy and succeed. You will stop paying subsidy because I know you are still paying subsidy. I am very sure you are paying subsidy. Right. Challenge me and bring out the documents and let me audit the federal account and see whether you are not paying subsidy. Right. You are paying subsidy. That is why we are still buying it less than 1,000 naira. But if you don't want, really, you don't want to pay subsidy, you want it to stop, summon them. The 4 refineries must work within 1 month, and it will work. Sack everybody that is on your way. Bring in people that will make the refinery to work. Say, anybody you are summoning, tell me, are you with me? Do you want the refinery to work or not? Irrespective of what you are getting, refinery must work. Irrespective of being a slave owner, and we must sign the proclamation decree today. Sign it, 1st of March. Give them marching orders. By the time we begin to refine some crude oil locally and sell at the price you will dictate to sell, you will see that this thing will stop. That is only one of the ways to go. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much, Barrister.
Thank you so much.
King. It's a pleasure to have you on the show
today. It's a pleasure
today.
too. Thank you so much.
And this is where we wrap it up on this episode of Blowout on Atlantic Television Network. You can always stay connected to us on all our socials: Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network; Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1; Twitter, Atlantic TV Net. Watch us live on our website, www.atlanticnetwork.tv. Do not forget, peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Thank you for watching. I am Ogu Laurentia Choma.
From the lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries.